Hello everyone, welcome once again. Today I'm going to discuss about CISSP exam, how you prepare for the exam, what are the resources will you need to just pass the exam and everything. So welcome you once again to my course. What else I can say about CISSP? It's one of the best certifications in security domain. It's one of the highest achievement a security practitioner could eventually think of to make. This is Certified Information System Security Professional. IC Square is an international non-profit membership association, and CISSPs belong to them. And CISSP is one of the best and prestigious certifications in the field of cybersecurity. There is no doubt about it. So the exam fee is 699 US dollars, and total questions will be 100 to 150. It's a CAT-based exam. So that means like if you pass in the first 100 questions, then you are good to go. Don't need to just go for the 50 exams, like the 50 other questions. But then again, if you don't pass in the first 100, then there is another chance that the next 50 will coming up, and after 150 you will get the result. So this 100 to 150 means it's just like that. And also the time is 3 hours and pass mark is 700 out of 1000. So CISSP, the best cybersecurity certifications. Why it is the best one? Because it is the most globally recognized certifications in information security field. CISSP validates an information security professional's deep technical knowledge and managerial knowledge and experience to effectively design, engineer, and manage the overall security posture of the organizations. And also it will prove your skill that you have done with CISSP. So you know each and more or less like 70 to 80% of the total security information security contents. There is so many things to learn then again, but CISSP is definitely one of the biggest achievement security professionals can even make, and definitely you will get the greatest community support altogether if you pass the CISSP. So everyone thinks of like why CISSP, whether it's really just lucrative for me or which is right for me. And definitely the mindset is quite important because it's a huge challenge. You need to go through big hurdles to pass this exam. So this is definitely ideal for the people who are information security professionals and also working as a CISO, CIO, director of security, IT director, network architect, security analyst, architect, security auditor, security consultant, security manager, system engineer, and so on. There are first facts about CISSP. It's introduced in 1994, so pretty old, 26 years old, 27 years old certification. In fact, it's DoD approved. Most required security certifications are LinkedIn. Exam available in 8 languages at 882 locations in 114 countries. First information security credential to meet the strict conditions of ISO/IEC standard 17024. CISSPs work in more than 170 countries globally. 93% of CISSPs are lifers because they always practice, they always gathering the knowledge, sharing the knowledge at the same time. More than like 142,000 professionals currently hold the CISSP certifications. The salary is quite on the higher side in each and every country in the world. I'm currently living in Canada, so I'm seeing that the CISSP certified holder is getting at least like 130 to 140,000 Canadian dollars per like year. And even US is the scenario is the same, so it's like $131,000 per year, and it's a computerized adaptive testing and exam right now, and which is being introduced in December 18, 2017. So shout outs on CISSP. So you can see that CISSP shows this is the top certifications in best information security certification as per the Tech Geek 2018 article. It is the number 2 next big thing list that industry professionals plan to run in 2020 according to the salary survey. And also like this is the voted as best professional certification program multiple times in SC magazine. So there are like countless benefits of being CISSP. I'm sharing like some of those here. Like you will have a pretty good career advancement if you have the CISSP. You might have different kind of versatile skills if you have CISSP. You earn respect from the organizations and also the co-colleagues, and you might have the solid foundations. I know so many people. I know some of the people who actually just pass CISSP, and then they eventually just change their whole domain. They just transfer to the security and just pretty much like shining into their careers. So that's pretty wide open. Like it's a trump card for you if you really want to just work into come forward to security from any other domain. CISSP will just the major key, or like the transtile key, to just open the deadlocks over there. It will definitely just increase your salaries quite a bit, and also it will expand your knowledge and definitely just make you a stronger skill set person. So CISSP exam overview. uh, as you can see that it's quite difficult to just pass this exam. It's not that much easy. So there are 8 domains you can figure out over here, and it starts from security and risk management, asset security, security architectures and engineering, communication and network security, identity and access management, security assessment and testing, security operations, and software development security. Here is the percentage of the total questions, and I will definitely show you how many questions will you get in the exam from each and every domain in the next couple of slides. So the basic thing is like the CISSP exam evaluates expertise across 8 cybersecurity domains, and the weights will be valid till 13 April of 2020. And then again, the situation has been changed and all the stuffs will be coming up. So new distribution of domain days will be applied, described later on this discussion. And it's been valid was like 30th April of 2020. So it was like last year. So security and risk management 15%, asset security 10, security architecture and engineering 13, communication and network security 14, IAM 13, security assessment and testing 12, security operations 13, and software development security 10. So 100 to 150 number of items on the English CISSP CAT exam. It's computer adaptive testing. So if you pass the 100 questions, you are pretty golden to go. And then again, whenever you are just, it's a little bit tricky exam if you just taking right one after another. So the question will be bit much harder from the previous one if you take the right answer. But if you take the wrong answer, the question will be like a little bit easier as well. So as long as you are just getting through the questions, if it's correct, you will get some more difficult questions. If it's wrong, then you will get a similar kind of question again. So 3 maximum amount of time for the CISSP CAT exam, and for long English linear fixed form CISSP exam allows 6 hours to complete. So CISSP CAT is the best thing to do right now, and most of the people are taking this exam like pretty frequently. And it is also available in English, French, German, Brazilian, Portuguese, Spanish, modern, Japanese, simplified Chinese, and Korean. And the Pearson VUE is the ultimate testing center where you can just go for the CISSP. So minimum requirements to become CISSP certified: 5 years of experience. There is like nothing changed into it. So to qualify for the CISSP, candidates must pass the exam and have at least 5 years of cumulative paid work experience in 2 or more of the 8 domains of the IC to CISSP Common Body of Knowledge (CBK). And candidates must have a minimum of 5 years of cumulative paid work experience in 2 or more of the 8 domains. Earning a 4-year college degree or regional equivalent or an additional credential from the ICT approved list will satisfy 1 year, but then again you need to satisfy the 4 years. And a candidate who doesn't yet have the required experience to become a CISSP may become an associate, but then again they need to have the experience to just become a like fulfilled and full-fledged CISSP. For the pathway of the CISSP certification, you need to go through all the readings and everything, and then study for the exam quite hard. You need to just go for the CBK, and also some CISSP candidates pass the exam with self-study. Many choose to attend an official IC2 squad training. It's also available in the IC2 website, and then you need to just go for the pass for the exam. Candidates are given a maximum of 3 hours to complete the 100 to 150 item English CAT exam, or 6 hours to complete the 250 item non-English CISSP linear exam. So if you're ready, you can just schedule your exam in Pearson VUE, and definitely you can just then go for the exam. After passing the exam, you need to get endorsed by like other CISSPs, and then you will have 9 months time. And if you just endorsed by some other CISSP, then you will get the certification. So Big thing comes first. The resources need to pass the exam. First and foremost thing, like CISSP CBK reference 5th edition. It's a pretty new edition. It's like quite plain and simple compared to the 4th edition. The 4th edition was a little bit dull, but this book just crack everything. So it's a 5th edition is an authoritative resource for information security professional, and you can find out the everything covers all eight domains of CISSP with the depth necessary to apply them in daily practice of information security. And it's been written by a team of subject matter experts, and definitely all CSSP objectives and sub-objectives are covered into this, and all huge kind of references to widely accepted competing standards and case studies are also included into it. This is a pretty good book. I really found it interesting, and I really found it a little bit easier compared to the CBK. So it's a like another book which is published by Cybex, and this is the CISSP official study guide 8th edition. So as long as you are just pretty good to go, you can choose CBK as your first book and then this book as a second choice. But it's very easy to read and have good explanations on each and every topics. This is official IC2 CISSP practice tests, and the second edition is already in the market. The first edition is also available, so you can have a look onto that, but I prefer to just go for second edition. And it has 1300 unique practice questions covering all CISSP exam domains. These practice tests align with the 2018 version of the exam to ensure up-to-date preparation and are designed to cover what you will see on the exam day. Activate the online environment, which is you can find in the end of the book, and you will get some extra practice test exam with good quality questions as well. So it's a pretty another good book to have, CSSP for Dummies, and it is the 6th edition, provide you with a friendly and accessible framework for studying for these highly sought after certifications. And the expert review all other stuff, and you'll get tips on setting up to a 60-day study plan, tips for exam day, and access to an online test bank of questions as well. Those books are also good, like CISSP AIO all-in-one exam guide 8th edition, very easy language and explanation. And also the exam guide 8th edition, the questions must be attempted before exam. That's really important. So you need to go through the questions in like Sean Harris' book as well. So this is really important. CISSP study guide 3rd edition, very good summarized. Like you will get Eric Conrad book, have all the like the tips and tweaks and summarizing part. So it's good to have. I would rather suggest to just read this book at least 15 days or 20 days before the exam, and also like Elephant Hour CISSP. So you can find some kind of really good stuffs over there. So CISSP exam preparation tips, I will definitely help you out on that. At least 3 times go for CBK. There is no alternative to it. First time you may mark on your book. The second time you just read all the read the marking parts of the books, and also in the same way building the concepts, and try to read at least 2 books end to end, cover to cover. The CBK and the Willy one, Cybex. With those 2 books are literally important to just pass the exam. So you need to just read at least once of those 2 books. For the topic you feel hard to understand, you can refer to AIO, as the book has good explanation with examples in easy language. You can read this book also for a better grasp of the concepts. If you can continue have a plans, 4 to 6 months is the time. You can add 1 month more time. That will be easier for you. And once you finish one domain, you can check all the practice tests and exam books from Cybex and AIO. You can do this domain wise, mark the hard questions so that you can just come up later on and just try it once again. And read the explanation of each answer carefully, why it is right, why it is wrong, right. So you need to just understand everything to just become pretty much sure that okay fine, I'm choosing the best possible answer for this question. Regular study is seriously must. You need to read at least 2 hours in a day and follow only IC2 resources. And I would rather suggest you to just read the things I have stated in the slides. I believe if you're really serious about all those things and read all those things I have mentioned here, you will definitely pass the exam. And for any difficult topics, you may Google or discuss with your core people or someone else, and try to solve the questions as much as possible, no matter what, like Cybex, CBK, AIO, and exam cram books and all other stuff at the same time. If possible, make group studies. Discussion will help you out from your own limited thinking, and it's better if you the group may consist of different kind of people, like maybe someone has already preparing for exam, someone has passed the exam, so those like discussion will definitely help. The number of questions you'll get in effective as on May 1, 2021. So you will get like security and risk management 22 questions, asset security 15, security architecture and engineering 20 questions, communication and network security 20 questions, identity and access management 20 questions, security assessment and testing 18, security operations 20, and software development study 15. So total 150 questions. Domain 1, security and risk management. What will you find in domain 1? There was like you need to just find out like the how to promote professional ethics, how to understand security concepts, evaluate and apply security governance principles, understand requirements for investigation types, and identify, analyze, and prioritize business continuity planning, understand and apply risk management concepts, establish and maintain a security awareness. So those are the things actually covered in domain 1. In domain 2, you will find identify and classify information assets, how to establish information and asset handling requirements, ensure appropriate asset retention, provision resources securely, determine data security controls and compliance at the same time. In domain 3, it's all about like understand the fundamental concepts of security models, select controls based upon system security, assets and mitigate the vulnerabilities of security architecture, select and determine cryptographic code solutions, and you need to understand methods of like cryptanalytic attacks, how the attacks is being like converting to your system, apply security principles, and design site and facility security controls. In domain 4, you will find out like communication and network security, assess and implement secure design principles in network architecture, secure network components, implement secure communication channels, everything. In domain 5, you will find physical and logical access, how to control them, manage identification and authentication of people, devices, and services, how to federate identity with the third-party services, and also like implement and managing authorization mechanisms, implement authentication systems, and so on. Domain 6 is purely based on security assessment and testing. So you'll find design and validate assessment, conduct security control testing, analyze test output, conduct or facilitate security audits, and everything. Domain 7 is purely on security operations, how you can understand and comply with investigations, how fundamental security operations concepts are being made, how to conduct incident management, how to understand and participate in change management process, disaster recovery planning, business continuity planning, and everything. Domain 8 is based on software development security. We all know that SDLC is quite important for any kind of security postures. So identify and apply security controls in development environments, assess security impact of acquired software, define and apply secure coding guidelines. Everything will be covered in this chapter. The best way to pass the exam, I feel those are the best ways to just pass the exam. Be prepared to answer questions about what the cybersecurity manager should be doing. You are a cybersecurity manager, so you need to think about manager. Not only the technical skills will come handy here, you need to understand the managerial things at the same time. CISSP certification require understanding of the concepts behind the cybersecurity program, not only the definitions. And cybersecurity management positions will definitely help you out. Think like a manager. If there is any kind of discrepancy happen, how a manager will just deal all of those things. So those things will definitely help you out to pass the exam. Always remember, the exam is all about how to implement IC to cybersecurity management standard, and the purpose of a standard is to represent a uniform unit of measure, and it's been like similar in everywhere in the world. So you need to understand specific standard function and various levels of systems which is compatible in any environment in the world. So CISSP mindset, this is a new things and you need to just get along with it. It's like think like a manager. Your role is a risk advisor of the organizations. You need to think about like how I can consult or advise some kind of solutions. Who is responsible? I need to know who is responsible for security, how much security is enough. All decisions starts with risk management. How you can just manage the cost benefit analysis, and how you just read the question. So in the exam, read the question fully. Sometimes twice if the writing is twisted, mark the keywords from the questions. Like You read all the answer the first time, eliminated options with a clear wrong answer. For example, there are 4 answers and you are pretty much sure that D is not the right answer, so you'll just eliminate D, and then you need to just, the pressure will be a little bit lower because you have only 3 options left to choose one. So you can just move like that way and get your mind into the zone of thinking from the correct perspective. Measure your progress through quizzes and practice exams. If you get a really good score in the practice exams, in the real exam you'll definitely do shine. So there are so many ways to fail CISSP. I think like memorizing the CISSP study guides will not help. Memorizing CISSP practice question database and expecting the same question, it will not happen in your like dearest dream as well. Rely too much on job experience, that will be really bad because all the situation will not be similar like your job. And only think like an IT manager or operations engineer will not work. Think like a security manager, or at least like the senior level of the security domain. Exam day suggestions, as I already told you earlier, give a sound sleep. No need to read in just before the day because you have done enough. And nothing may be brought into the exam room, so breaks are permitted. You can take breaks and only choose the one best answer. There is nothing you need to just think about, and detailed score will be provided by email in 10 days. You will see the pass fail right away after just completing the exam. So you should expect the test to take the entire full length of the exam. Try to use try to pass the exam by first 100. If you can't do that, no need to be panicked. Still there is a chance left, so be sure that you can pass the exam within the 151. And it is advisable to plan for both pace and breaks. That will definitely help you out. Read all questions carefully. This is the exam day suggestions from my side, and definitely do not skip any kind of questions. In CAT system you may not have the skipping option, so that you need to keep in mind. There is no penalty for guessing, so answer every question. So each CISSP question is just like the similar of the other exams of IC2 Square. 1 question and 4 answers, so you need to choose the best one from them. And there are some kind of like scenario based questions can be there, so you need to be ready for that as well. So the keywords like best, most, first, you need to just keep that in mind and read all the options. Be sure before just providing any kind of answers, and you need to be a cybersecurity manager to just answer all those questions. So think parallelly, and you need to have a pretty like good preparation before sitting for the exam. So make sure that you have prepared well for the exam. Grading the exam. So this exam is just like similar or like the SSCPA and also the other IC2 exam like CCSP. 700 out of 1000. So if you score the pass mark or above, the result will be printed with the congratulations. And I hope and believe that if you just work really hard for these certifications, you'll be definitely achieve it. And I wish you all the best, and I hope that if you have a plan to just go for CISSP, don't read any other certification, because this certification will just single-handedly enough to just make your life much more worse. But don't be panicked. Just wait for like 6 to 7 months. Read more and more as much as you can. Study hard. Go for the questions. Try to discuss with some people who have already passed the exam. So the experience will definitely help you out to just getting through the channel. So thanks once again, and we have only one certification, which is AWS Solution Architect Associate left. So I will cover on that next slide. Till then, take care.